Easy Crochet Chicken Coaster Pattern and Tutorial. You will need cotton yarn in the body color red and gold, a 4mm hook, scissors, and a tapestry needle. Go grab them. I'll wait here for you. Here is the chicken coaster pattern. Screenshot this pattern and save it, or just print it out, whatever you prefer. Okay guys, let's get started. I'm using cotton yarn and we're going to start by chaining 4. The last 3 chains will count as your first double crochet. Remember to keep that first chain kind of loose. We're going to work back into that and make 13 additional double crochet. Counting those first 3 chains as your first stitch, you will end up with 14 double crochet in your first round. When you have 14 double crochet in this magic circle, count up to the 3rd chain and slip stitch. Now pull that tail to close the center, or that first chain. Now to begin round 2, chain 3 and double crochet into that same stitch. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to make a double crochet into that same stitch. Now that created an increase in that first stitch because we always count that first 3 chains as our first double crochet every time we start a new round. Now we're going to make a double crochet increase in each stitch for this round until the end of the round. Now we're approaching the end of round 2 and making our last increase of double crochets, and then we're going to count up to the 3rd chain of that first stitch, which are the 3 chains, and we're going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain. We will begin round 3 as we did round 2 with 3 chains and double crocheting into that same stitch. That's our increase. The next stitch will be a double crochet. And in the next stitch will be an increase, a double crochet increase, and we will follow this sequence until 4 stitches remain in the round unworked. Increase, double crochet, increase. Okay, so now we're here where there's 4 stitches left unworked. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to make a chain 1, and then we're going to make 2 single crochets around that last double crochet post. Single crochet, single crochet, and then in those last 4 stitches we will make a single crochet in each stitch. Okay, so now we're going to make 2 single crochets in that first double crochet of the round, which was the chain 3s. And then we're going to chain 1. That is the end of round 3. Now to begin round 4, we're going to make 7 shell stitches. We're going to skip a stitch, and in that second stitch, we are going to make 5 double crochets into that one stitch. Now I'm going to begin double checking my stitches because I need 5. This one is not a stitch, this one is. And there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. So I need 1 more double crochet in that one stitch. Okay, now that we have our 5 stitches, I'm going to do another count just to make sure that I have 5 double crochets in that one stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're good to go. Now we're going to skip a stitch and slip stitch into the second stitch. And that ends our shell stitch. We will repeat this until we have 7 shell stitches. Here it is one more time so you can see how I make the shell stitch. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're working on our 7th shell stitch. Now we're ending it with our slip stitch. And now we're going to make a single crochet into the next stitch. And then after that, we will make another shell stitch. This will be the head of the chicken. Okay, so now I end the shell stitch, and I am going to do something that I did not put in the instructions in the pattern, but in that stitch right after it, that slip stitch, I will just make a single crochet. And then I will turn my work and begin round 5. And round 5, we will put 2 single crochets in each stitch of the head. We will do this 4 times. And when we reach the 5th stitch, we will put a slip stitch there, and then we will fasten off. There's our chicken body. We will have to weave those in later. Okay, now we're going to use red cotton yarn to create the comb of the chicken. We are going to fasten on about 3 stitches from the back of the neck of the chicken. And we are going to chain 3. And as I chain 3 and work my next few stitches, I am going to wind this tail into my stitches as I go, so I won't have to weave it in later. So in that same stitch, we are going to make 2 double crochets while weaving in that tail. It takes a little bit more time, but it really works well. That way we can just cut it off at the end and not worry about having to weave that in such a small little space. Now here, I'm supposed to chain 2 and then slip stitch into the same stitch, but I forgot to, but you go ahead and do that. And now we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. And we're going to chain 3 and make 2 double crochets into the same stitch. I made too many double crochets. Take one out. 1, 2, 3. That's 3 including the 3 chains. That 3 chains equals 1 stitch. Now I will do the 2 chains and slip stitch back into that same stitch as I should have done on the first comb. But it still works out, even if I make little mistakes. So it's okay, we'll just move along. And now we're going to create another comb. So we will have a total of 3. And we will just do it the same way. Slip stitch, chain 3, double crochet, double crochet, almost forgot again, chain 2, slip stitch back into that same spot, and look at how cute that is. And I make 1 more single crochet into the back of the neck. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can skip that if you liked it the way it was and just fasten off. Okay, now let's work on the wattle. We're going to use the same red cotton yarn, and 3 stitches below the head, fasten on. I fasten on by grabbing both stitches and then leaving the tail there. And I usually like to work in the tail as I did in the wattle, but I don't know if I do it here, I can't remember. In the same stitch, make a single crochet. The next stitch, make a single crochet increase. A single crochet in the next stitch, and then a slip stitch and fasten off. It's getting cuter by the minute. Okay, time for the beak. We're going to use gold yarn. Okay, we're going to fasten on 2 stitches above the wattle. Then we will chain 3. And then we will single crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook. Now I'm not going to like how all of this is splitting, so I'm going back to my chains where I made 3 chains and 4. It looks like 4 chains because where we fastened on. Now we're going to, from the into the 3rd chain, we are going to single crochet. That looks a lot better than it did just a while ago. Okay, it's still trying to split on me, but I'll fix that. And then into that chain that we fastened on into, we are going to do a half double crochet. And then we're going to skip a stitch and slip stitch into the next stitch. Chain 1 and fasten off. I like to bring that tail to the back. It's easier to weave in later when all the tails are in the back. Adorable. Okay, now we need to work some magic and weave in the ends. There we go. Magic done. Lovely chicken. I hope you enjoyed this chicken coaster tutorial. Like and subscribe and watch my other videos.